So, what do you do if you get laid off from your job? Well, a few days ago, I shared a video of how I was laid off from my job, not once, but for the second time. And usually, when that happens, it is very difficult to know what way to move next. And so, in today's video, I'm sharing a few tips on what to do if you get laid off. This is my script here. I'm going to divide this video into three parts. First, what to do before you get laid off. The second part will be what to do on the day you get laid off. And the final part will be after you are laid off. So, before you get laid off, the first thing I believe you need to do is to have an emergency fund. Yes, aim for like 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. An emergency fund should be a monthly emergency fund should be the amount of money you need, to live on for that month, okay, to be able to survive a month. That is your emergency fund. So before you get laid off, even when you don't know that you'd be laid off, right? As you work, make sure that you have some savings there for emergency purposes on for days for when the bad day comes, when you get laid off. I, in my case, didn't have that. um, I had planned to have one, but unfortunately, because I got into some debt due to some business venture I took, I was unable to save my emergency fund, and I was using the salary I was paid to pay that set pay off offset that debt so that I'd be free and then focus on my financial plan right after. However, I didn't even finish paying those debts and I got laid off. So you would want to have an emergency fund. How am I coping right now without an emergency fund? Well, I have a small business, a small kinky business that I do on Sundays, every Sunday. So that helps me. I sell kinky, at church after church. So that helps me get some money for the week. And also, there's been support from my partner, my wife, and some close relatives. Yeah, so that's how I am surviving this layoff without an emergency fund, sort of. Now, the second thing you should do before that day comes, that before you're laid off, as you prepare, or even as you work, because you don't know at this point, you don't know that you get laid off, right? Yeah. So the second thing you should do is to document your work life. You see, a short pen is better than long memory, like they say. One of the things that you need to do immediately when you're laid off is updating your CV, right, in search of new opportunities. And so that is why you need to document your work life. Have a folder in there where you put in weekly progress, weekly things you do. So at the end of the week, what you've been able to achieve, take screenshots. Um, take screenshots, write notes of what you've been able to achieve, the good things you've been able to achieve, what you've been able to help the company with. When you have this in a folder somewhere, when that day, that bad day comes, you'll not be struggling to now trying to figure out or remember what are some of the things I did with this company. No, you've you already have a record of those key things you've done with that company to be able to use in updating your CV when that day comes. So that these are the two things I believe you should do while you are still at work, while you are still working at that company. Yes. So So what do you do when that day finally comes? The first thing I'll say is that when that day finally comes, um, don't do anything stupid. Yes, I said that. Don't do anything crazy. Don't go insulting, don't go fighting, don't go throwing things around when the news is broke to you. No, it's just a setback. It is not the end of your life. So, yes, I know how difficult it could be, how difficult it is when everything seems to be going all right, and then all of a sudden they give you that bad news. But then again, you shouldn't do anything that will mar relationships, that will get you in trouble, that will get you arrested. No. So don't do anything stupid. Just relax. Everything will be all right. I know it usually doesn't look like it, but it will be. Trust me. So don't mar relationships. You don't want to break bridges. All right. That is the what I think you should do. For instance, when I was laid off recently, I sat in that meeting with my boss, and he told me that the company has decided to move in a different direction, blah blah blah, and so they would have to let me go. Then in the end, I don't know why they always ask that. In the end, he asked me whether I have any questions. No, I don't have any questions. Like I said, no. I only thanked him for the opportunity to work for him or with him with the company for the past 5 months. That was how long I was there for. And in my first layoff, for instance, I was called over the phone because we were working from home then, and I was called over the phone to to be told that I need it has come like it has become necessary for them to let some of us go. What did I do? The drastic thing I did was I think blocking that guy, blocking the boss that gave me that information. Yeah, that was the only drastic thing I did. Again, with that one also, they asked whether I had any questions, and I told him that no, I didn't have any questions. What did I do after that? Before blocking him, I just went on our WhatsApp pages, work WhatsApp pages in the evening, thanked everyone for the opportunity to work with them, and then I left the page. So don't do anything stupid, okay? Yeah, you'll be all right. The next thing is that you should take everything you can take legally and then return whatever you need to return. Now, um, it's also it's also forms part of not doing anything you regret, right? So download the files that you need to download, your personal stuff, not anything confidential. Don't go deleting stuff you've worked on for the company. No, don't do that. Just download the files that you can take screenshots of what you need to take screenshots of. These are the things that you can use to beef up your CV, especially if you had not been doing what I said first, right? You had not been documenting your work. Then now on the day when it happens, you need to now download the things you've been working on, take screenshots that you can use to beef up your CV later. And also give them the stuff that belongs to them. Give their computers to them, their laptops, their phone. There are things in your possession. For instance, during my time, the first time I was laid off, I still had the company's laptop and I had the company phone. And then they had they've not paid us in like a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. they hadn't paid us yet. So I had those things in my possession. I didn't give it back to them until I was paid what I was due. So if they have something, that goes to say that if they have something that they need to do for you, they promise to do something for you, like a package or like a salary in lieu or something, do not just accept their word for it. No, let them put it into writing. Because when I was told to bring the company's laptop and phone, I told them I wasn't going to do that until I was paid what was due me. Because if you are able to lay me off, what shows that with word of mouth, you promising that you pay us our monies, it means it will come. So they had to provide a document. I went to the company to go and sign, took a copy of it before I gave their phone and laptop to them. So you need it in writing. You can't trust them, so that if anything happens at all, you can refer to that document. In as much as you want to be professional, you don't want them to also cheat you either, especially for companies without proper HR systems in place, right? So with this current layoff, I still have the company's laptop because they've promised to pay half of my salary for this month since I started the month with them, right? So in this case, I'm holding on to it. When they do that, then I can send their laptop to them. After that, you can say your thank yous and your goodbyes, to your friends, your colleagues, and even other connections that you've made throughout your job. Because perhaps soon enough you'd be looking for a new job. So it's good to tell them thank you, the people, connections you've made, thank you, and that you're no longer with this company and they should keep you posted with any opportunities, something like that. Or they should stay in touch, something like that, right? Yeah. Whew. Yes. Again, you like I said, you don't want to burn bridges because you never know what the future holds. You might They might need you, you might need them, you might go and work together some other time on your paths may cross again. So don't burn bridges. Okay? Right. Now, what do you do after you have been laid off? After you've been laid off, I would want you to take some time off to process all the things you're feeling. Okay, don't just jump straight into applications and all. No, some people just jump straight into the job hunt again. But is that what you really want to do? Is that what you really want to do? Okay, so take some time to think, so that you'd be able to make some good decisions. Because your next move would be decided by different factors, including your current financial situation or your financial situation as at the time of being laid off, right? So who knows? Maybe that layoff could be God's sign of telling you, or the universe's sign of telling you that you need to start that thing that you've always been telling yourself you want to start for a long time. And even if you want to go back to the job market, what sectors are you willing to consider? You need to sit down to think about these things. So by all means, take some time off for yourself and think things through, and the length of time will vary depending on who you are and a lot of factors. It can take some people a few days, some people weeks. Yeah, that's it. And then also, the next thing I would want you to do after being laid off is to look at your finances. This is a very difficult thing for most of us to do. But at this point, you don't have that monthly assured income coming in, right? It will cease. It has ceased. So since it had ceased, you need to look at your finances. Maybe you had saved that emergency fund. How long can you stay with with? Can you live on that for? How long of an emergency fund do you have? You know, it's scary, yes, but look at your numbers, look at your finances, and based on your decision after thinking things through, go hard on the things you can control. For example, if after looking through things, you want to get to the job market, go on to the into the job market once again, then start searching, start engaging your contacts and your network, telling them what you are looking for, because by this time you've thought through things and you know what kind of jobs you would be willing to do. And if the decision after thinking through is also to start something new on your own, then go ahead, do that unapologetically. Um, Take action, see what works, and then take action, see what works, and double down on it. What doesn't work, then you look at how to change it, a different approach. For instance, for me right now, for me right now, it is creating for my YouTube channels, right? I've decided that I'll get back onto the job market, but while I'm looking, for the time being, I'm using that to create content for my two YouTube channels, this one and then Dapper App, where I teach men about style and how appearance matters. Okay, so if you'd like to work with me, I have a couple of skills I can offer you. Check out the Google form in my description and let's take it from there. Also, while you are waiting or after you've been laid off, you can ask for help when you need it. It's okay to accept help. It's not a sign of weakness, especially for us men who sometimes want to do everything by ourselves. We feel like we are failures if we've been laid off. After we are laid off, we tend to beat up ourselves and want to do everything by ourselves. No, if friends and family, even your wife or your girlfriend, offers help, take it if you really need it, right? Don't be too hard on yourself and feel too big that you need to figure everything out by yourself. No, you're just a man, and we all need somebody to lean on from time to time. So I hope this video has helped you in a way. If it has, like, share, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you would like to work with me, I have, like I said, in the description, there is a Google form that you can fill so we get to work together. Thanks for watching. And these are the things that I believe you should do when you get laid off. I'll see you in the next video. Good luck.